ballroom was packed. 300 of Atlanta's most powerful people. Senators, tech founders, old money, new money. They were all there for one reason: to meet the mysterious woman who had just bought the biggest company in Georgia. No one knew her name. No one had seen her face. The doors opened. And when she walked in, one man in the crowd dropped his champagne glass. It shattered on the marble floor because he recognized her. Years ago, she was his maid. Years ago, she was pregnant with his child. Years ago, he threw her out on the street like garbage. And now, she owned everything, including his company. Now, before I tell you what happened next, check that subscribe button. If you love stories where the humble rise and the proud fall, hit it right now and turn on notifications, because the payback in this story, it is going to be legendary. Now let me take you back to where it all began. Ronan Blake had the kind of life most people only dream about, and he made sure everyone knew it. He was the CEO of Blake Industries, a massive tech and real estate empire based in Atlanta. His face was on billboards. His name was in magazines. His opinion moved markets. He lived in a sprawling mansion in Buckhead, the richest neighborhood in Atlanta. Marble floors, gold fixtures, a swimming pool that could hold 100 people, luxury cars in the driveway, a private jet at the airport, a closet full of suits that cost more than most people earned in a year. Blake had everything, and he believed he deserved every bit of it. "I built this from nothing," he would tell anyone who listened. "My father came to America with a few dollars in his pocket. Now look at us. This is what happens when you're born to win." He said things like that a lot. Born to win. Built different. Self-made. The truth was a little more complicated. His father, Ronan Blake, had indeed come to America with almost nothing. But the old man had worked long hours for years. He had built Blake Industries with his own 2 hands, brick by brick, deal by deal. When Ronan Blake retired, he handed the company to Ronan. Not because Ronan earned it, because Ronan was his only son. "Take care of this company," the old man had said. "It is our family's legacy. And remember, treat people well. Everyone deserves respect. The janitor, the driver, the maid, everyone." Ronan had nodded. And then he had ignored every word. Under Ronan's leadership, Blake Industries grew. But so did Ronan's ego. He fired people for fun, humiliated employees in meetings, treated his staff like they were beneath him. "Do you know who I am?" was his favorite sentence. He said it to waiters, to valets, to anyone who didn't bow fast enough. His mother, Isolde Blake, encouraged every bit of it. She was worse than her son, a tall, elegant woman who wore designer everything and looked down on anyone who didn't. She had married Ronan Blake when he was already wealthy, and she had spent years acting like the money was hers. "You are a Blake," she would tell Ronan. "Blakes don't associate with common people. We are royalty." She picked his friends, vetted his girlfriends. She controlled every aspect of his social life. And she had very specific plans for his future wife. "You will marry Brielle Lang," she announced one evening over dinner. "Her father owns the largest construction company in the Southeast. The merger of our families will make us unstoppable." Ronan shrugged. "Is she beautiful? She's acceptable. More importantly, she's wealthy." Then set it up. That was how Ronan approached everything. Transactions, deals, arrangements. People were assets to be used, nothing more. But fate had a different plan for Ronan Blake, and it arrived at his front door wearing a simple cotton dress and carrying a small suitcase. Her name was Seraphina Voss, and she was nothing like anyone in Ronan's world. Tall and graceful, dark skin that glowed like polished mahogany, high cheekbones, gentle eyes that seemed to hold both sadness and strength at the same time. She came from nothing. Her father had died when she was young. Her mother had worked herself to death, literally trying to feed 4 children in a small town outside Lagos. Seraphina became the head of her family. She raised her 3 younger siblings, worked any job she could find, cleaned houses, washed clothes, sold food on the street. When an opportunity came to work in America as a live-in maid for a wealthy family, she took it without hesitation. "I'll send money home every month," she told her siblings. "Save everything. I'll come back for you." That's how she ended up at the Blake mansion the agency sent her. Isolde interviewed her. "Can you cook?" "Yes, Ma." "Clean?" "Yes, Ma." "Do you steal?" "No, Ma, I never." Isolde looked her up and down with cold eyes. "You're pretty. Too pretty for a maid. But I suppose that can't be helped. Just stay out of my son's way. Do your work, keep your head down, and remember your place." "Yes, Ma." Seraphina was given a small room in the servants' quarters, a tiny space with a single bed, a small window, and no air conditioning. She didn't complain. She woke up early every morning, cleaned the entire mansion, cooked 3 meals, did the laundry, ironed the clothes, scrubbed the bathrooms until they sparkled. She worked long hours every day for a small salary, half of which she sent home to her siblings. She never complained, never asked for more, never raised her voice. The other staff noticed. "That girl works like she has something to prove," said the old gardener. "No," said the cook. "She works like she has something to protect." The cook was right. Every dollar Seraphina saved was a step closer to bringing her siblings to America, a step closer to giving them the life their mother had dreamed of. That was her purpose. That was her everything. And for months, the system worked. Seraphina cleaned, cooked, stayed invisible until the night she couldn't. It was late at night. Seraphina was in the kitchen cleaning up after one of Isolde's dinner parties. Many guests, mountains of dishes, hours of work. She was exhausted. Her back ached. Her hands were raw from scrubbing. But she kept going because that's what she did. She heard footsteps, heavy, unsteady. Ronan stumbled into the kitchen. He was drunk. His tie was loose. His shirt was unbuttoned. And he smelled like whiskey and expensive cologne. He had been drinking alone in his study after the guests left, something he did more and more often lately, because despite all his wealth, all his power, all his possessions, Blake was lonely. He would never admit it, not to his mother, not to his friends, not to himself. But the truth sat in his chest like a stone. He had everything and he felt nothing. "You're still here?" he said, squinting at Seraphina. "Just finishing the dishes, sir." He leaned against the counter and watched her work. "Everyone else went home hours ago." "There was a lot to clean, sir." "Stop calling me sir. It makes me feel old." Seraphina said nothing, kept scrubbing. "What's your name again?" "Seraphina, sir." I said, "Stop calling me sir." "Sorry, Ronan." He smiled. A rare, genuine smile. "Seraphina, that means grace, right? In Igbo." She looked up surprised. "Yes, you know Igbo. My father made sure of it. Said a man should never forget where he comes from." He laughed bitterly. I forgot most of it anyway. They were quiet for a moment. Then Ronan said something he had never said to anyone on his staff. Sit down. You look exhausted. I'm fine, Ronan. Sit down, please. She sat. He poured 2 glasses of water and slid one to her. My mother works you too hard, he said. I don't mind. You should. She treats the staff like machines. I've told her to stop. You have? She doesn't listen. She never listens. Seraphina sipped her water and studied him without the arrogance, without the swagger, without the crowd of people telling him how great he was. He looked sad. Can I ask you something? She said quietly. Sure, with everything you have. Are you happy? No one had ever asked him that. Not his mother, not his friends, not the women who hung around him for his money. Are you happy? 3 words that hit harder than any business deal. Ronan stared at his glass. No, he whispered. I'm not. And for the first time in his adult life, Ronan Blake was honest. They talked until sunrise. Not about money, not about business, not about status, about life, about family, about the things that actually matter. Seraphina told him about her mother, about her siblings, about why she worked so hard. Ronan listened, really listened. And something cracked open inside him, something he had kept locked away for years. It happened slowly after that. A conversation here, a shared meal there. Late nights in the kitchen when the house was quiet and the masks came off. Ronan found himself looking for her, thinking about her, wanting to hear her laugh. And Seraphina, despite every warning in her head, found herself looking back. This is dangerous, the cook warned her. He's the boss, you're the maid. Nothing good comes from this. I know, Seraphina said, but the heart doesn't listen to warnings. They were in love, or at least Seraphina was in love. Ronan was in something he didn't have the courage to name. They kept it hidden. Every touch was stolen. Every moment was borrowed. Every kiss was a secret. Ronan would come to her room at night after the house was dark. He would leave before the sun came up. Why can't we just tell people? Seraphina asked one night, her head on his chest. You know why. Your mother. She would destroy you, Seraphina. She has plans for me, plans that don't include someone like you. Someone like you? The words stung, even though he didn't mean them to. And what kind of person am I? Seraphina asked quietly. Ronan pulled her closer. You're the only real thing in my life. But the world I live in, it doesn't care about real. It cares about image, status, money, and which do you care about? He kissed her forehead. I'm trying to figure that out. But he never figured it out fast enough because into their secret, Seraphina missed her period. Then she missed another one, and a test confirmed what she already knew. She was pregnant with Ronan Blake's child. She sat on the edge of her tiny bed in the servants' quarters, holding the test in trembling hands. Joy and terror fought for space in her heart. A baby, a new life. But whose life would this baby have? Would Ronan step up? Would he choose her? Would he finally break free from his mother's control? She waited before telling him. She made him dinner, his favorite, jollof rice with fried plantain. She set it up in the kitchen late at night when they were alone. I need to tell you something. He was eating, relaxed, happy. What's up? I'm pregnant. The fork stopped halfway to his mouth. Silence. Long, heavy, suffocating silence. Say something, Seraphina whispered. Ronan put the fork down. Are you sure? Yes. How far? Weeks. He ran his hands over his face, stood up, sat down, stood up again. Okay, okay, we can handle this. Handle it? How? I don't know. I need to think. Ronan, this is our baby. There's nothing to think about. Seraphina, you don't understand. If my mother finds out, forget your mother. This is about us, about our child. Keep your voice down. He was pacing now, running his hands through his hair, looking at the door like a trapped animal. And in that moment, Seraphina saw it. The truth she had been afraid to see all along. He wasn't trying to figure out how to be with her. He was trying to figure out how to escape. You're not going to choose me, are you? She said. Ronan, are you? He couldn't look at her. I need time. Time for what? To ask your mother for permission to love me? That's not fair. Fair? I'm carrying your child, Ronan. Nothing about this is fair. He walked out and Seraphina sat alone in that kitchen, her hand on her stomach, her heart in pieces. She gave him time. He gave her silence. The silence lasted days. Then all hell broke loose. Isolde found out. Not from Ronan, not from Seraphina, from the trash. One of the other maids found the pregnancy test in Seraphina's bathroom garbage. Within an hour, it was in Isolde's hands. The explosion was nuclear. Ronan Blake, get down here now. Ronan came downstairs to find his mother in the grand living room, holding the pregnancy test like it was a weapon. Seraphina was already there, standing in the corner, terrified. 2 security guards stood by the door. What is this? Isolde held up the test. Ronan froze. Mama, I can explain. Explain how you got the maid pregnant. The maid, a servant, a nobody. Mama, do you know what this will do to our family? To our reputation? To the merger with the Lang family? Brielle's father will pull out. We will lose everything. Isolde turned to Seraphina. Her eyes were pure venom. You! She pointed a manicured finger. You scheming little rat. You planned this, didn't you? You saw my son's money and you spread your legs to trap him. That's not true. Seraphina's voice cracked. I love him, and he loves me. Isolde laughed a cold, cruel laugh. Love. You think a Blake loves a maid? You are nothing. You are less than nothing. You are the dirt we walk on. Mama, stop. Ronan stepped forward. No, you stop. You have a choice to make right now. Ronan, right now. This girl and her pregnancy or your family, your company, your future. The room went dead silent. Seraphina looked at Ronan. Everything depended on this moment. Everything hung on what he would say next. Choose me, her eyes begged. Just this once. Choose me. Ronan looked at his mother, then at Seraphina, then at his mother again. His jaw tightened, his eyes hardened, and when he spoke, his voice was cold, colder than Seraphina had ever heard. Seraphina, you need to leave. The words hit her like a physical blow. What? This was a mistake, all of it. You need to pack your things and go, Ronan. I'm carrying your child. I'll send money for the situation, but you can't stay here. The situation. This is a baby, your baby, security. Please escort her out. The guards moved forward. Seraphina backed away, her hands protecting her stomach. Don't touch me, Ronan. Please don't do this. I have nowhere to go. I have nothing. I'll have someone send you money, but this is over. Isolde smiled, a satisfied, poisonous smile. You heard my son. Get your things and get out. You have time. Seraphina looked at Ronan one last time, tears streaming down her face. You will regret this, she whispered. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day you will understand what you just threw away. Ronan turned his back, Later, Seraphina Voss walked out of the Blake mansion, one small suitcase, the clothes on her back, a small amount in her pocket, and a baby growing inside her. The gate closed behind her, and the night swallowed her whole. Most people would have broken, thrown out, pregnant, alone, no family in the country, no money, no home. Most people would have given up. But Seraphina Voss was not most people. She was the girl who had raised 3 siblings alone. She was the girl who had worked long hours without complaint. She was the girl who had crossed an ocean with nothing but a promise. And she was not going to break now, not with a child depending on her. The first months were hell. She slept in shelters, ate at soup kitchens, worked cleaning jobs for cash, any job she could find that wouldn't hurt the baby. She saved every penny. The cook from the Blake mansion was the only person who helped. She sneaked Seraphina food, gave her old clothes, let her use her address for mail. That family is evil, the cook said. But God sees everything, Seraphina. Everything. Seraphina didn't wait for God. She took matters into her own hands. She remembered something her mother used to say. When you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. And a person with nothing to lose is the most dangerous person alive. Seraphina was dangerous now. She got a job at a small tech startup in Midtown Atlanta, not as a maid, as a janitor. But she didn't just clean. She listened. She watched. She learned the startup was run by a woman named Tatum Cole, a sharp, no-nonsense businesswoman who had built her company from scratch. Tatum noticed Seraphina immediately. Not because she cleaned well, although she did, because of what she did after cleaning. Every night after her shift, Seraphina stayed late. She sat in the empty conference room and studied the whiteboards, read the business plans left on desks, taught herself coding from library books. One night, Tatum walked in and found Seraphina at a computer, watching free coding tutorials. "What are you doing?" Seraphina jumped. "I'm sorry, ma'am. You're learning Python." "Yes, ma'am, and JavaScript. I'm sorry, I'll leave." "How long have you been doing this?" "Months." Tatum sat down across from her. "Show me what you've learned," Seraphina showed her. Tatum's eyes widened. "You taught yourself all this while working full-time while pregnant." "Yes, ma'am." Tatum leaned back in her chair. "What's your name?" "Seraphina Voss." "Well, Seraphina Voss, starting Monday, you're not a janitor anymore. You're my intern." "What? You heard me." "I've been looking for someone with hunger, with drive, with the kind of fire that doesn't go out, and I think I just found her." Seraphina's eyes filled with tears. "I won't let you down. I know you won't." That was the beginning. Later, Seraphina had her baby, a boy. She named him Kai. It meant God has done great things, and great things were exactly what happened next. Seraphina's internship became a full-time position. Her full-time position became a promotion. Her promotion became another promotion. She was Tatum's right hand. She was running her own division. She had developed a software platform that revolutionized supply chain management for small businesses. Tatum offered her a partnership, 50-50. Tatum said, "You've earned it." "I can't accept that. You gave me my chance, and you turned that chance into a massive company. 50-50 Seraphina, take it." She took it. Their company, Voss Coal Technologies, was valued at a fortune. Seraphina Voss, the maid who was thrown out with nothing, was now a billionaire. But she didn't act like one. She still woke up early every morning, still cooked her own meals, still drove a modest car. She lived for two things: her son, Kai, smart, kind, the spitting image of his father, and her mission. Because Seraphina hadn't forgotten. She hadn't forgotten the cold marble floor of the Blake mansion. She hadn't forgotten Isolde's poisonous smile. She hadn't forgotten Ronan turning his back. And she hadn't forgotten the promise she made as she walked out that gate. You will regret this. The time for regret had come. While Seraphina rose, Ronan fell. He just didn't know it yet. Since he threw Seraphina out, everything had slowly crumbled. It started with the merger. He married Brielle, the woman his mother chose. The wedding was massive. Many guests, magazine coverage, the power couple of Atlanta. But behind closed doors, it was empty. Brielle didn't love him. She loved his lifestyle, his credit cards, his name. She spent money like water. Shopping sprees that cost fortunes. Vacations that cost even more. A closet full of designer bags she never even opened. And she gave Ronan nothing in return. No warmth, no companionship, no children. I'm not ready for kids, she would say. My body, my choice. What she really meant was, kids would interfere with my shopping schedule. Meanwhile, Blake Industries was bleeding. Ronan had made bad decisions, risky investments that didn't pay off, partnerships that fell apart, key employees who left because he treated them like garbage. His father's company was now worth a fraction and dropping. The board was losing confidence. Investors were pulling out. The media was asking questions. Blake Industries. Is the empire crumbling? Read one headline. Ronan responded the way he always did, with arrogance. We're fine. I'm fine. Blake Industries is fine. Anyone who doubts me will eat their words. But they weren't fine. And then came the killing blow. A company called Voss Coal Technologies made a hostile takeover bid for Blake Industries. The offer was massive, above market value, impossible to refuse. The board voted to accept. Who is Voss Coal? Ronan screamed at his lawyers. Who is behind this? We're looking into it, sir. The CEO keeps a very low profile. No public photos, no interviews, just results. Find out who they are. No one takes my company. But it was already done. The paperwork was signed. The deal was closed. Blake Industries now belonged to Voss Coal Technologies. Ronan's father's legacy, the company Harlan Blake built with his own hands, was gone. And Ronan didn't even know who took it until the gala. Voss Coal Technologies announced a celebration gala at the Atlanta Ritz-Carlton. 300 guests, the biggest names in business. Everyone was invited, including Ronan Blake. You should go, his lawyer advised. Show the new owner you're willing to cooperate. Maybe they'll keep you on as a consultant in his own father's company. The humiliation burned, but he went. He put on his best suit, fixed his tie, drove to the Ritz-Carlton with what was left of his pride. The ballroom was stunning. Crystal chandeliers, white roses, a live jazz band. 300 people mingled, all waiting for the mysterious CEO to appear. Ronan stood near the bar drinking whiskey, trying to look like he wasn't dying inside. His mother called, "Have you seen them yet? Who is this person?" "Not yet, Mama. They haven't shown up. Find out who they are. If it's someone we know, maybe we can negotiate. Offer them something. Get our company back. I'll try." The lights dimmed. A spotlight hit the stage. The MC spoke. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce the founder and CEO of Voss Coal Technologies, the woman who has taken the business world by storm. Please welcome Ms. Seraphina Voss. Ronan's blood turned to ice. No? No, it couldn't be. The doors opened and she walked in. Seraphina. But not the Seraphina he remembered. Not the girl in the cotton dress with the small suitcase. This Seraphina wore a custom emerald gown that hugged her body like it was designed by angels, diamond earrings that caught the light, her hair swept up elegantly. She was stunning, powerful, radiant. Every head in the room turned, and beside her, holding her hand, was a little boy, big brown eyes, a smile that lit up the room, a smile that looked exactly like Ronan's. Ronan's champagne glass slipped from his fingers. It shattered on the marble floor. The sound echoed through the ballroom. People turned to look, and Seraphina's eyes found his. Across 300 people, across years, across all the pain and silence and betrayal, their eyes locked. Seraphina didn't flinch. She didn't cry. She didn't look away. She simply smiled. A calm, powerful, devastating smile, and Ronan Blake felt his knees buckle, because in that moment he understood. The maid he threw away had become the queen who took his kingdom, and the child he rejected was the heir to everything. The gala continued, but for Ronan, time had stopped. He stood frozen by the bar, broken glass at his feet, staring at the woman on the stage. Seraphina addressed the crowd. Thank you all for being here tonight. Years ago, I had nothing. No money, no home, no one who believed in me. She paused. That's not true. One person believed in me. Tatum Cole, my partner and my sister. Tatum, please stand. Tatum stood and the crowd applauded. Together, we built something extraordinary. But I didn't come here tonight just to celebrate business. I came to share a lesson. She looked directly at Ronan. Sometimes the people you throw away are the ones who were meant to lift you up. And sometimes the people who lift you up are the ones you never thought to look at twice, the crowd murmured. They didn't understand the full meaning, but Ronan did. Every word was a blade. After the speech, Seraphina stepped off the stage. People swarmed her. Congratulations, business cards, praise. Ronan pushed through the crowd. Seraphina. She turned. Up close, she was even more breathtaking. The years had transformed her, not just physically. There was a strength in her eyes, a peace, a fire that burned steady and sure. Ronan. Her voice was calm, almost friendly. It's been a long time. Seraphina. I need to talk to you, so talk. Not here, please. In private. She studied him for a moment, minutes. She led him to a private balcony overlooking the Atlanta skyline. The city glittered below them. Years ago, she had been out there somewhere, sleeping in a shelter, eating at soup kitchens, carrying his child alone while he slept in a sprawling mansion. The shame hit him like a tidal wave. Seraphina, before you say anything, I want you to know something. Her voice was steady. I didn't buy your company for revenge. Then why? Because it was a good company. Your father built something real, something valuable, and you were destroying it. That hurt worse than revenge would have. I want you to know I'm going to restore it, rebuild it, and make it what your father intended it to be, not what you turned it into. Ronan's jaw tightened, and the boy, he could barely get the words out. Is he? His name is Kai Voss. He's brilliant. He's kind. He's everything good in this world. He's mine. He's mine. I carried him alone. I birthed him alone. I raised him alone. While you were buying sports cars and marrying a woman your mother picked for you, every word was true, and every word destroyed him. Seraphina, I'm sorry. For what exactly? For everything. For throwing you out. For choosing my mother over you. For being a coward. You weren't a coward. Ronan, you were exactly who you chose to be. I was wrong. Yes, you were. Can I see him? Can I know my son? Seraphina was quiet for a long moment. The Atlanta skyline sparkled. A lifetime of pain hung in the air between them. That night, she said softly, when you told security to escort me out, I had nothing. I was pregnant, terrified, alone in a country that wasn't mine. And the man I loved, the man whose child I was carrying, couldn't even look at me. Ronan's eyes were wet. Do you know what I ate for the first months? Rice, plain white rice every single day because that's all I could afford. I worked cleaning jobs until late in my pregnancy. I gave birth in a public hospital with no one holding my hand. Tears rolled down Ronan's face. And when your son was born, when I held him for the first time, do you know what I felt? What relief. Because he looked like me. Because if he had looked like you, I might have broken. Ronan fell to his knees right there on the balcony in his expensive suit in front of the skyline of the city where he used to be king. He fell to his knees and wept. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Please let me be in his life. I'll do anything. Seraphina looked down at him. The man who had everything? The man who threw her away like garbage? The man who chose his mother's approval over his own child on his knees? Years ago. She would have given anything to hear those words, but years change a person. Get up, Ronan. He looked up at her. Get up. Blakes don't kneel. Remember? That's what your mother always said. He flinched. I'm not doing this for you, she said. And I'm not doing this because you deserve it. I'm doing this because Kai deserves to know where he comes from. Does that mean it means I'll let you meet him slowly on my terms? If he wants to know you, I won't stop him. But if you ever hurt him, if you ever make him feel like he's not enough, if you ever choose someone else over him the way you chose your mother over me, her eyes hardened, I will erase you from his life so completely that he won't even remember your name. I understand. And Ronan, one more thing. What? Your mother is never to come near my son ever. That woman called me a rat, called me dirt, called me nothing. She will never touch my child. Ronan nodded. Okay, whatever you say. I just want a chance, one chance. Seraphina turned to leave. At the door, she stopped. The company your father built, I'm going to make it greater than he ever imagined. Not for you, for Kai. Because one day it will be his legacy and not yours, his. She walked out. And Ronan Blake stayed on that balcony for a long time, looking at the city that used to worship him, understanding finally what he had thrown away. In the time that followed, Seraphina kept her word. She rebuilt Blake Industries from the ground up. Under Voss's leadership, the company grew in value. She kept the Blake name on the building, not for Ronan, for Harlan Blake, the old man who had built something real, the man who had told his son to treat everyone with respect, the man whose lesson had been ignored. Ronan did meet his son slowly, carefully on Seraphina's terms. Kai Voss was cautious at first, but children have big hearts. And eventually, he let his father in. Not as a hero, as a flawed man trying to do better. Ronan never got Seraphina back. She didn't want him. She didn't need him. She had built a life that was complete without him. He watched from the edges as she dated, as she found someone who loved her the way she deserved, fully, openly, without shame. It hurt, but he knew he deserved it. As for Brielle, she filed for divorce the moment Ronan lost his company, took half of whatever he had left, and disappeared to Miami with a younger man. She never loved him. She loved his wallet. And Isolde, she called Seraphina after the gala, left a voicemail. "Listen here, you ungrateful girl. That company belongs to my family. You stole it. I will destroy you. I will." Seraphina's lawyer sent back a single letter. Mrs. Blake Voss Cole. Technologies owns all assets formerly belonging to Blake Industries, including the building at 1400 Peachtree Street where you currently maintain an office. Your lease is hereby terminated. You have time to vacate. Sincerely, Legal Department, Voss Cole Technologies. Isolde moved out sooner. Some lessons are learned the hard way. And the lesson of this tale: never measure a person by their position. The maid serving your food might have a mind that changes the world. The woman you throw away might build an empire from the ashes. And the child you reject might become the heir to everything you lose. Because fate has a long memory, and it never, ever forgets. If this story moved your heart, subscribe and hit that notification bell, because every tale has a lesson, and modern African folk tales never forgets. In the shadowed corridors of fate, where privilege blinds and hardship forges unbreakable steel, the saga of Seraphina Voss imparts a profound truth. Never underestimate the dormant power within those you deem insignificant, for the seeds of greatness often bloom from the soil of rejection and resilience. Cast out as a mere maid, pregnant and penniless, Seraphina faced the abyss of betrayal from Ronan Blake, the man who chose his gilded cage over love and fatherhood, reducing her to nothing in his mother's venomous gaze. Yet in that crucible of despair, she discovered an unyielding fire, a mother's fierce love for her unborn child, Kai, propelling her from shelters and soup kitchens to self-taught mastery in tech, transforming janitorial nights into a billion-dollar empire. Her ascent wasn't fueled by vengeance, but by an indomitable spirit, proving that true worth isn't measured by birthright or bank accounts, but by the courage to rebuild from ruins. Ronan's downfall, watching his legacy slip into the hands of the woman he discarded, echoes a haunting reminder. The people we trample may one day stand atop our fallen thrones, their triumphs a mirror to our own moral failings. This tale tugs at the heart, evoking the raw ache of injustice and the triumphant joy of redemption, urging us to honor every soul's potential. For life's reversals can humble the mighty and elevate the overlooked. In a world quick to judge by appearances, Seraphina's journey whispers that empathy and integrity are the ultimate currencies, capable of rewriting destinies. If this narrative has stirred echoes of your own struggles or sparked inspiration, hit that subscribe button now and turn on notifications to immerse yourself in more tales of empowerment and transformation. Drop a comment below. What's a moment when rejection fueled your greatest comeback? Let's share stories and uplift one another in this community of resilient hearts.